I look terrible today. Well, I don't look terrible. I did just get out of the shower a little bit ago. Well, I hate having my hair wet when I go live, but I don't know. I just really felt like I needed to wash it today, and I didn't want to wait for it to dry before going live because I have a dentist appointment later. Thank you, I appreciate that. Anyway, I could blow dry my hair, but it takes like 8,000 years to blow dry my hair if it's damp still. So we'll see over the course of this live stream how long it takes to air dry. Hello, how are you doing today? And I have this annoying little, I probably need to get a new band-aid. I have a little broken nail, and it hurts. Well, it doesn't hurt with a band-aid on it, but I probably should get a new band-aid for it, because, well, it's okay right now. And I was, okay, that's better. Anyway, maybe I should move, because this lighting is not very good. I don't know. I might move in a little bit, but maybe I'll just... Okay, I'll just turn on nice ears. Thank you. Maybe I should take them off. Ugh. Wow, that looks so bad. Oh well. Wet hair chic. We'll see how long it takes for my hair to dry. What are you talking about? I feel like I need to get new clothes, you guys. Like, I have a lot of clothes, but I haven't bought new clothes in a long time, so I really need to just, I don't know, there are a lot of people who like sell their clothes online and stuff, and I just have never really done that, but maybe I should. I could have like an entire store of all of my old clothes. Either that or just take a lot to the thrift store, which would also be good, but I need to just get around to doing that. I always like attach like sentimental value to my clothes, so it's really difficult asking. Sorry, I really shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that your questions are annoying, but it is annoying. Also, it's considered rude to ask that question in Russia, so... I mean, obviously I'm a YouTuber, so... Can we date? I think not. But, anyway. Move that arm away. Why? Move your arm away. Thank you. Hi to you from Philippines. Hi. You have beautiful eyes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hi, Neemvati. I feel like I need to do something different with my hair. Maybe even my whole outfit. I don't know. But I just wasn't sure what to wear today. So I have a dentist appointment later. Yuck. I really don't want to go to the dentist, but you know, every 6 months you have to. I almost canceled my dentist appointment because I wasn't feeling good yesterday. But I'm feeling better today. And I figured if I don't go today, then we'll have to go later. I hate going to the dentist. I mean, it's not that bad. And I know I probably don't have any cavities or anything. But, because I do take really good care of my teeth. Looking so energetic today. Well, thanks. I don't feel very energetic, but hi, I've watched you in a movie. Oh, have you watched the movie that I was in, like, how many years ago? A long time ago? Sometimes I forget that I was in a movie. I wish I could be in more movies, but, like, that one was really, like, random that I found that they were... Oops! I have never seen auditions for a movie online like that, ever. That was an independent Christian movie, and it was definitely God wanting me to be in that movie because that was so random. But it turned out, it took them years to produce it. Like, I acted in it in 2015. Was it 2015? And they didn't produce. They had already been filming it for a while, and they didn't get it produced till 2021, which is a long time for a movie. But of course, it was an independent movie, and they didn't really have a big budget and all that. I'm just surprised it actually got produced, and it's a pretty good movie. But yeah, it's called Chloe's Mountain. You were joking. No, it was a real movie. It's called Chloe's Mountain. So yeah, it was a Christian movie, and yeah. Anyway. I wish my hair wasn't wet, but I really... Let's see, what else could I do with my hair while it's drying? It'll just... I have a lot of cat ears. I'll just wear these. That looks better. Yeah, oh gosh. What is that noise? That's weird. I live in a second floor apartment. That's probably the person downstairs. Yeah, so being in the movie was fun. In retrospect, I think it was a good opportunity, and I'm glad, but I was 16 and I didn't really know what to expect, and it was really frustrating because like I had to stay at this place for like 2 nights, I think, and I'd never really stayed away from home before, and I was kind of upset, and there was no, it was like in kind of a remote area. There was no internet or anything. Of course, I didn't even have a phone then, but it was really boring. Like, and I just stayed in a room all by myself, and I was really shy and like didn't really I don't know. My mom ended up coming with my youngest sister the second day because I was so lonely. And in retrospect, I'm really glad I was in it, but like they kept saying like, oh, you're gonna film soon, and I ended up not filming till like really late in the day, and I had to just wait around all day. If I, went and did something like that as an adult and I knew what to expect, I would feel better about it, but of course, I think because it was an independent movie, they didn't have a lot of people working, and it was just frustrating that I had to sit around and do nothing for so long. But it was a good experience, and it's kind of cool to see. Of course, I do a lot of acting now, but it's just on my YouTube and TikTok, and it's just me filming myself. And like, if I do make character videos, which I do, I have made up a lot of characters. Like, I haven't done any character videos in a long time just because I haven't really felt like it. I've been a lot more into live streaming, but I have like a lot of videos, and I always kind of wished that I could be in movies for real. That was really kind of a God thing that I was able to do it. But at the same time, I've heard a lot of stuff about like being in the entertainment industry that like unless you're like a really big famous star, it really kind of sucks. And yeah. Hey guys. What you guys doing? Oops, what did I do? What? I think you played a fairy tale role. I wish. That was definitely not. It was not a fairy tale. It was meant to be like a modern day movie. Have I ever been? Let's see. I've been in plays before though. If you consider The Little Prince a fairy tale, it kind of is. I was in The Little Prince, and I was the Rose. And wow, I don't know. My cats are being weird. And yeah. So I just realized, here in America, it was on Sunday, it was, what's it called? Daylight savings time? Is it called daylight savings time? Spring forward, whatever that is. And so now the days are like, I don't understand why daylight savings time is a thing. Like, because it's already, like, the days are already getting longer. And then all of a sudden, they change the time. And now, instead of getting dark, like, it's already getting dark close to, like, 6 p.m. And that's already, like, a long time. Then all of a sudden, they change the time. And now it's, like, light until, like, 7 p.m. And then this is just the beginning. And, like, by the time it gets to midsummer, it's, like, 8:30 p.m. by the time it gets dark. And that's just really frustrating. It totally messes up your circadian rhythm. And then, like, in this, then in the fall, when it's, getting it gets, finally it's getting dark, slowly, like later and later. Then all of a sudden it jumps from getting dark at 5:30 or 5:45 to 4:45. And then it's like, then you get used to that. And then I don't know. It just is annoying. Woo! I'm not. Hey, that is totally rude. I think that there are many, many people who get messed up by the time change. And whoever said I wanted to live like a vampire? I never said that. I just said that besides, like, that's kind of ridiculous, like, I just said that it's weird that it gets dark all of a sudden. It gets dark an hour later, and then in the winter it's the reverse. Like, it's confusing, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you can take your negative attitude and just leave. Thank you very much. Plus, don't be rude to the vampire. Are you crazy? Yeah, if I actually was a vampire, you'd be in trouble. Well, bruh, just chill. I am in no mood to deal with negative, nasty people today, so I think that was the coolest, calmest, and most polite rant I've ever seen. Well, thank you. See? I mean, people are allowed to express opinions. Like, if you're gonna be, like, that nasty, like, I can only imagine how nasty you are in real life. Like, the fact that sometimes people come on to other people's live streams or channels and just, like, pick out the tiniest little thing to, like, be a total meanie about, it's like, do you have anything better to do with your life than go onto people's live streams and or videos and make mountains out of molehills and, like, insult them for no reason? I mean, like, seriously. Naturally, though, maybe you should take a moment and go talk with someone close in life. Yeah, whatever. Only listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit. That's true. YouTube. Stephen Burns explains how solar flares affect the human body. Huh. Interesting. I don't really pay attention to stuff like that. I do remember there was a time when I used to get really freaked out about, like, solar flares and stuff like that. But now that, I mean, I've always been a Christian, and I am a Christian, but now I don't really worry, like, anytime they're like, oh, the world is gonna end, the sun is going to eat the earth. Like, I used to be really afraid of that. Like, I remember reading, like, this book about, like, space and stuff, and, like, seeing how, in, like, quote unquote, according to them, billions and billions of years, someday the sun would get massive and swallow up the entire solar system. I'd be like, oh, that's scary. I mean, that is kind of freaky to, like, imagine that. But first of all, I don't believe the earth is billions of years old, and I also don't believe that's going to happen in billions of years. And I believe Jesus is going to come back. I don't know when, nobody knows the day or the hour, but I also believe God created the earth, and he created it about 6,000 years ago, because that is what the timeline I think it's about 6,000 years, something like that. The timeline from that, from the beginning of the Bible to, like the end, and then plus the 2,000 years-ish. I think it's something like that. Anyway, I believe the earth is thousands of years old, not billions, and obviously that God created it. And that he has a plan for the quote-unquote end of the world. It's in God's hands, so there's no need to worry about all that. Jesus will be back any day now. So the thing is, he is coming back any day now, and I wouldn't think of it that way as to smite the world. Like, yes, he is going to destroy the entire world, but he's not going to destroy everyone. Everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved, and eventually, when God destroys this entire world, the reason why is because this world is not perfect, and he is going to create a new heaven and a new earth, and there's no reason to be afraid of that. If you believe in God, if you believe in Jesus, you'll be saved and get to live forever in the new heaven and new earth, so that's cool. And you may not believe in that, and that's totally fine. I'm not here to try and convince anyone. I'm not here to debate either. I'm just saying what I believe and what the Bible says is true. And, it's your choice to believe or not. I hope that you believe. I hope that God inspires you to believe, but, it's up to you. Yeah, carbon dating, is not actually consistent, and, like, it is kind of, I have studied geology, so, the thing with carbon dating is they look for radiometric particles, and they try to date them. However, the dating, it's really arbitrary. It's like, come up with these numbers arbitrarily based off of, what, the half-life, quote-unquote, of uranium or whatever radiometric elements. And, like, my question is, how up with this? And now I know if I got into it, like, because the thing is, nobody knows, and when they say, oh, the earth is 4.6 billions of years old, it's like, really? Are you 4.6 billions of years old? Do you really know that? Like, no. And the truth is, there's actually a lot more geological evidence for a really large flood or really large catastrophe that the fossil, how there's the fossil record, and people like to use the fossil record to be like, oh, that means, whatever. But there's a lot of geological evidence for that there was a massive catastrophe that shaped the earth over a short amount of time versus over billions of years. Do you realize that those aren't real bones of dinosaurs? They're made up of completely fabricated materials brought up. Yes, that is true. So, like, when you go to a museum and you see this massive dinosaur skeleton, it's not actually bones. It's, they may have found, like, a skeleton like that or bones somewhere, but then they, they make it. Like, it's like a replica. And also, the skeleton, like, I don't think they've ever found, like, a T-Rex skeleton, like, a giant T-Rex skeleton. They find, like, pieces of it, and then they piece it together. So, this is making me think, so for a long time, a while ago, it's been forever, like, I started writing notes for it, but, I was looking at the Bible at the beginning of Genesis, and then some like geology books that I have, and like finding like things that are like evidence for geological evidence for the creation record. And if I got out my notebook, I could find some of the stuff, but I should make a video like that sometime. I haven't. But yeah. You disagree with that about dinosaurs? I'm not saying that dinosaurs didn't exist. I'm saying that paleontologists never, like, they may find, like, teeny tiny skeletons, but, like, they've never found, like, a massive T-Rex skeleton all put together in one place. I don't think, anyway. And they find bones that they think are part of it, and then they replicate it, and like, so you go to a museum and it's not an actual dinosaur bone, it's like replicated. Anyway, I'm not in a cult. You've never had a thought in your life. That's so funny. I've had plenty of thoughts in my life, actually. And for you to just assume that I'm in a cult, how do you know that? I'm not in a cult, but maybe you're in a cult. There was one thing that I did learn about that I thought was really interesting. So, I should find my notes for this, but one thing, and you can find this in actual science books, not just, and the science book that I was basing it off of is like a not Christian science book, but so in the beginning, they found evidence that when the Earth was formed early on, the Earth had an anoxic atmosphere, meaning oxygen, and meaning none. So that meant that there was no oxygen in the atmosphere at the beginning of the world. And that, later on, it became oxygenated due to plants growing. And because, of course, plants take in carbon dioxide and put out oxygen, and that's the whole carbon cycle. And I think it's really fascinating because in the Bible it says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and when he first created, and it says, now the earth was formless and empty, darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And it's not until, so that is verse 3, then it's not until later on, then he separates the water and the dry ground, and then it's not until verse 11 where he says, let the land produce vegetation. So, if you think about it, that means when God created the earth, at first, it was just rocks and water, I guess. Rocks, and then water, and then he created plants. So that means when he created the earth, it was anoxic. So, that is just one of the things that I think is really good evidence for the creation story. Explain that, atheist, right? Another thing, so this is quote unquote, or quote from this geology book that I have. At least bear with me because I'm remembering it from memory, but they don't really give much of an explanation as to the creation of the universe. They just say the scientific consensus is that the Earth and the universe was formed by a synthesis of organic monomers. And like they want to argue for the fact that, you know, these organic monomers, these elements were just kind of like bouncing around, and all of a sudden they like, you know, fused with each other, and all of a sudden, you know, boom, and then everything was formed. And it's like, okay, well, sure, but then you have to say, okay, well, how did those organic monomers get there? Did they just, like, who created the organic monomers? And then they don't really have an answer for that. So, it's just, and the more you get into it, like, also, there, it's just when you think about it, the world is so intricate. I mean, you know, as a scientist, or someone who studies science, the more you study science, I just, you know, I haven't, like, the more I studied, I mean, I always believed in God and the creation, but then when I studied geology at college, I was always like, whoa, you know, like everything, geology and biology, and learned about how intricate everything is. To me, it's just like more evidence for a creator. And like, I just don't get how, and, you know, for a long time, scientists, the consensus was, you know, people believed in the Bible, they believed in the creation story, and they all, you know, were creationists. Then this one guy really, really did not like that idea, and he was like determined to come up with a alternative explanation to, you know, basically claim that the, you know, come up with, who was it? It was not Darwin. There was some guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he, if I got my book out, I could find it. But someone came up with the idea to try and disprove creationism, and, you know, somehow over time that started being taught in universities and stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, it went from the mainstream narrative being God created the heavens and the earth and creationism to uniformitarianism. Oh, Charles Lyell, I'm pretty sure his name was. And it's just, why is this true? Oh, well, that's because what the scientists say. The fact that we are here means there's an uncreated creator. Right. I need Christian friends like you because y'all are the real deal for me. Well, hey, I mean, I consider y'all my friends, so. For all we know, we're just we're not bacteria, y'all. I mean, there's a huge difference between bacteria and a human being. There's a huge difference between bacteria and a minnow. Like, you can bacteria without a microscope. But yeah, this makes me really excited, and I definitely want to make more videos about this. So yeah. Trying to think, what else? What was I gonna say? I was gonna say, oh right, so, you know, people who are like, you need to trust science and what science says. Well, one are, you know, science and the Bible can't go together, and God created science. Also, scientists are not always right. Now, who here remembers the great, infamous COVID-19 pandemic, when the so-called experts were telling everyone that they had to stay 6 feet away from each other and wear horrible, disgusting masks on their face because, and, you know, which we later found out the masks actually did not really prevent you from getting sick. They may have prevented you from breathing out germs, but they didn't prevent you from breathing in germs. And they still, people were still getting sick despite that. Then they came up with this vaccine, and the so-called vaccine, and forced you to take it in some states, in some places, or lose your job. Luckily for me, I never took it, and I know the only person in my family who took it was my dad, and that's because the doctor recommended, because he's a diabetic. But no one else in my family took it. And as far as I know, I never got COVID. Everyone else in my family got COVID, though, at some point. But people were getting COVID and they had already had the vaccine. And there were people who, like for example, my aunt and uncle, all, they were huge, into the vaccine. And they both had gotten the vaccine, I don't know how many times, 3 or 4 times, and both of them, they got COVID. Let's talk. I talked to you. Remember when they fired all those nurses because they didn't get vaccinated? Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying, when people are like, follow the experts, and then we later on had experts, saying you have to get the vaccine or blah, blah, blah. Then later on, you have people like these so-called experts admitting that the vaccines really didn't do anything. So the thing is, science changes over time, and what the consensus is not necessarily the truth. And, the only truth can be found in God's word, because God's word is truth. And I know that's, a lot of people want to argue with that, but that doesn't change the fact that it's true. Yeah. If God doesn't exist, there would not be so many in chat trying to convince you of that. That's true. My approach to psychology is along these lines. Oh, you guys. Well, it just says in the Bible that one day every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is the Lord. Someday when Jesus comes back, everyone, you will not be able to deny that he's Lord, but if you haven't accepted him in your life, it'll be too late. It'll be too late for you, and you cannot be saved anymore. So that is a pretty scary thought. Just imagine for 1 second, if you don't believe in God, just imagine for 1 second that what the Bible says is true, and Jesus is going to come back one day, and it's going to be too late for you. And if you have denied him in your life and he comes, you won't be able to deny that he's God, but it's too late for you, and you get condemned to an eternity separate from him. How terrifying. It's not just an eternity separate from him. If what the Bible says is true, which I believe it is, of course, everyone ends up either with God for eternity in heaven, and then the new heaven and new earth, or separated from God for all eternity in the place that was created for Satan and his demons. And that place was not created for humans, because it's God's will that every man be saved. It is. It really is. And that's why he sent Jesus to die on the cross, so that if we believed in him, we all who believe in him could be saved. And so Jesus literally died. He suffered a horrible death and went down to hell, essentially, and got the keys. I don't know exactly what happened, obviously, but only Jesus knows. But he did then God rose him from the grave, and he came back, and all who believe in him will be saved. Just imagine, all the stuff that maybe you've heard Christians say before, you're hearing me say, and you laugh at it and you think, oh, how can that be true? But what if it is true, Anyway. So, yeah. You agree? Well, thanks. Why are Christians so attracted to YouTube Live? I don't know. Well, so you said, what if Islam is also true? Well, then, if Islam is true, here's the difference between Islam and Christianity. Okay, so in Islam, the only way to get to their version of heaven is to do good works. And, quote-unquote good works, which a lot of those good works include murdering people who don't believe in Islam, versus the Bible says do not murder. They literally consider murdering as good. Like, all the stuff that goes on in the Middle East is because of Muslim extremists. And I'm not saying all Muslims, because I know a lot of Muslims are peaceful and stuff, but their religion does technically, say that they should go and kill anyone who doesn't believe. Versus Christianity says that we should witness to people and love people who don't believe and tell them, the truth and pray for them. But Islam's just like, nah, just kill them. And also, that's only one of the things. So, of course, those people who go on missions and, thinking, to kill people who don't believe, they think they're going to heaven. How can you even, how can you even, think that? And then if you're a Muslim and you don't do all that, there are other things. I do not know exactly what the Quran says. I will never study the Quran, but I do know a little bit. It is works-based. And even those people who follow the Quran to the letter, they never know for sure if they're going to heaven or not. They never know for sure if they have been good enough. Same with Hinduism or whatever. They believe in reincarnation. They believe in karma and all that stuff. They don't know what they're going to be reincarnated as. They could be reincarnated as an ant, or as a whale, or as a microbe, or as whatever. They don't know. It's just with all these other religions, there's this element of unsureness. Like, and I just, plus with atheism, agnosticism, they don't know. You go through life not knowing what happens after death. I just can't imagine, like, I feel bad for those people. I feel bad for people who don't know where they're going. Like, I think that's what an awful way to live. And for Christians, I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of, I mean, I live my life not completely fearless because I'm only human and there are things that scare me. But, some fear is good, of course, that's rational fear. Some fear is bad, that's irrational fear. I'm not perfect, but I do live trusting that God is going to take care of me and trusting that He has a plan for me and that He loves me and that, He's going to work everything out. And it doesn't matter how terrible life gets, even, because life is just a short part of eternity. And, my hope is in God, and that I also believe, like my loved ones who have passed away, who are Christian, that I'll get to see them again. Like, how awesome is that? Like, how many of you have lost someone, and it's incredibly sad when you lose someone, and you don't get to see them again on earth, but if they were Christian and you're a Christian, you have the hope that you get to see them again. I'm just saying, like, Christianity, it's not, and a lot of people think it's about like rules and stuff like that, but all those rules were really added on by humans. So yes, God has some rules, but not as many. I mean, the rules are just basic morals. Morals come from Christianity. Like, God is the one who says, I mean, I'm sure you people out there who don't believe, in God, surely you believe that it's immoral to kill people, right? You believe it's immoral to lie. I mean, you believe it's immoral to steal. I mean, our whole justice system, the whole justice system is put in place, and the thing to, catch people who do break this code of immorality. And like, if you think about it, everyone has this innate moral sense. Where does that morality come from? I believe in God. That's not true. That's not true. Jesus died for all man's sin. So regardless, yes, Jesus did die for all man's sin, but you have to acknowledge him. Jesus saves everyone who acknowledges him and calls on his name. Those people who reject him are not saved. These are cat ears. Anyway. Mental age of a 7-year-old over here. Last time I checked, I've never seen a 7-year-old talk about this kind of stuff. Yeah, forgiveness is available to all who ask. Well, okay. You know what? I'm getting cold. And here's the thing, it's up to you to choose. It's up to, I mean, all I can do is share the truth with you, and it's up to you, and it's up to God. You know, it's up to God. It's up to you to believe. It's up to God to open up your heart. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you rather go about life with the hope of salvation than, you know, not knowing what's going to happen? Like, if you, and, you know, no one knows how long they're going to live. Personally, you like conversing about these topics with people who are willing to converse and not get hostile. Well, that's good. I mean, that's a good step. Am I cold? A little bit. So, you know, I know that not everyone is raised Christian, and I mean, not all Christians were raised Christian. You know, some people find God later in life. For me, I'm thankful that I was raised Christian, and that I've lived my whole life with God. I mean, there was a time in my life when I wouldn't say I wasn't a Christian, but I was kind of far from God, but that only lasted like a year or so when I went to college. And, you know, my parents told me some things, and I was just kind of like, it was a culmination of a lot of things. I had a rough teenage years, and I was just feeling frustrated, and I don't know, but thank the Lord it wasn't that long, and then God came back to, he called me back. So that was basically, like, if you've heard the parable of the lost sheep, Jesus says, he talks about his followers, believers, as sheep, and he says, you know, if a shepherd has 100 sheep and one gets lost, will he not leave the 99 after the one? So, you know, and there are many people who are lost sheep at one point in their life. Jesus knows me, and he knows stay strong in your faith. This life is short, and eternal life is all that matters. I mean, yeah. I mean, life is short, and and the Bible also says, set your minds, hey Snowy, set your minds on things above, not on things of this earth. Okay. So I'm not going to tolerate people. I'm tolerating comments but I'm not going to tolerate people taking God's name in vain like that, because that's it's a sin, and it's insulting. It's hurtful to God. And Gato. Yes, Gato. I love animals too. Snowy. Okay, I think I need to get some more water. he is white. He's almost completely white. He has a little bit of gray on his head, but other than that, he's all white. My other cat is a Siamese. He's over there. Wait, where is he? I think he looks like a little monkey. Will you marry me? That's funny. Hey, who knows? I have no idea who you are, but maybe if I... Wow. Okay. I like your smart talking facts. Huh. Oh, thank you for deleting that message. You were spot on. I really wish I didn't have to go to the dentist today. It's a necessary thing. And I know it'll be nice after. So, when am I coming to cold and gray England? I don't know. I would love to come to England, but I would need like a plan, you know what I mean? Like, that's where the real action is. Oops. Head. Okay, well, first off, this, sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. I was kind of, and, I wasn't intending to go on that. I don't even remember how I started talking about all that. But you know, sometimes I think when I go on, like, I wouldn't say tangents, but when I like start talking like that, I feel like it's God speaking through me, because I don't really know where all those words come from, and then I stop talking and I'm like, what? Where did that? Anyway, no way, that's my real head. It is my real head. You're on purpose, sharing your light for the Lord. That's what we're meant to do. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, my camera is not, there's no filter, and also I'm not wearing that much makeup. At least I don't feel like I am. I mean, I'm not. So basically what I'm wearing, mascara and blush and highlighter and lip gloss, and that's it. I don't use like foundation or anything like that. That was exhausting. But you can see how passionate I am. You need to watch some videos of how to apply makeup. I don't think so. I'm not huge into makeup. I like mascara and highlighter, and yeah. You have special needs. Can you please pray for me? I will keep you in my prayers. I could listen to you all day. You have such a calming voice. Hey, that's awesome. Good. My hair is drying. Why is my hair wet? Well, because I washed it today. And water is wet, so. Personally, I think you would look good without makeup. Thank you. I mean, sometimes I just, like, I don't like to cover my face in makeup, but I like to use it to, like, enhance I really love the way, like, big lashes look, and, lip gloss, highlighter. I think it's fun. They're not fake lashes. It's my real lashes with mascara on it. It's water, flavored water. Back on topic. You almost got struck by lightning. Whoa. Went to church the next Sunday. Someone told me that you deserve to get struck by lightning. That's pretty mean. I mean, I'm glad that you went to church, but that was pretty mean of that person to say that. As far as that goes, I mean, Jesus would say, let the man let the person who is without sin cast the first stone. As in, everyone sins, and we don't have the right to judge other people. Only God can forgive sins. And I mean, we were talking about that in church, or the pastor was talking about that in church, about the woman who was supposedly caught in an adultery, and they were trying to trap Jesus and like see how he would react. So they brought her out and said the law of Moses says that a person who does this should be stoned, because of course back then they were like everything, like they would kill people for doing that, which by the way, like people commit adultery all the time today and no one gets stoned to death for it, which is just funny to think how insanely, like back then it was literally considered a crime, and today it's like on TV and like it's considered normal. But anyway, so back to what Jesus said. So, and the main reason for this, the people who hated Jesus were trying to trap him into saying something. And so Jesus said, okay, but let the man, and of course it was all men who were accusing her. There were no women in that crowd. It was all men accusing the woman. And he was like, "But the man who is without sin." And one by one, they all dropped their stones and slunk away because they knew that none of them were righteous, and none of them were without sin. So they all went away, and then Jesus went to the woman and said, "Where are your accusers? Does no one condemn you?" And she says, "No one." And he says, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." So he forgives her, and then tells her to go and leave her life of sin. Which of course, it's just, and that's what God does for us when, and he knows that we're still gonna sin and mess up, but he does want us to try our best to follow him and not sin, but he will forgive us. That's, how do you know that? The Bible is, like, Nika, how do you know that the Bible is just a book where people many years ago wrote down stories they invented to explain stuff they couldn't understand, like rain, for example? How do you know that? How do you know that? Just, have you studied the Bible? Have you studied antiquities? Have you studied how the Bible came to be written? You learned that in school. Who taught you that? And that's what is terrible about the education system, is that it's anti-Christian, anti-Bible. It's not true. Yeah, that's true. That is one thing that is true. Many people wrote the book. I mean, the Bible was written over time. There was not, it's sort of like, it's like history books, I mean, not one person is the author of history. It was written by a lot of different authors. And they were written down, I mean, kind of like traditionally, people would write down, they were written down by like scribes and things like that. And yeah, school doesn't teach you how to pay bills, buy stocks, buy a house, nothing like that. Go to school for, I mean, that's a whole nother topic. Yeah, I mean, there are certainly important things to learn in school. Like, obviously, it's important to learn how to read and write and stuff like that. There are some things that I think are unnecessary, but, no, that's okay. Well, first off, it wasn't millions of years ago. Like, what are you talking about specifically? Like, I mean, the Old Testament, like, a lot of these books, like, were written by different people. Like, some of the books were passed down, like, they were stories that were passed down, but they were creditable because, like, that was before, like, people, like, really wrote a lot of things. But then, like, some of the books were written down specifically by people, and then they were he a lot of history is like that. I mean, say off of less like just secular history. There's firsthand witnesses, secondhand. So the Bible is, I mean, history is written down like that. No, that's okay. I mean, you don't seem like a hater, and the thing is, I mean, I get it. You were brought up, with this belief system and it's okay. I know a lot of people were brought up in that education system. More unboxing from Russia. Oh, that was a long time ago. And unfortunately, yeah, so unboxing. So I have a couple friends. I haven't really talked to them in a long time just because of the whole geopolitical climate. And how, back when I met them online, and this was, I don't remember just because tensions have gotten so bad, but this one friend of mine, he sent me he sent me that book, and then he sent me one other thing, and he wanted to send me something, but he said that he wasn't able to because of just like I don't know, the war or whatever was going on, and it's kind of sad. And now I barely hear from, just because like Russia like blocks a lot of the internet and Snapchat and things like that. So we can't really communicate. It's really sad because, I know, there are a lot of good people, quote unquote, in Russia. There are a lot of people in Russia who I don't think agree with everything that their dictator does, or president. Just like there are people in America who don't agree with everything President Trump does. I mean, anyway. But yeah. Also, there's like scientific explanations for stuff that was explained otherwise in the Bible. Well, actually, the scientific explanations, I think, support the Bible. So there are scientific explanations, but science and the Bible can go together. So, oh my gosh. My voice is getting tired again. Ah. Okay, I'm just gonna... It's so funny when people comment things like that. It's like rude. Hello, JJ. Liquid energy. Not, I don't think anymore. I had a couple, I had an energy drink, and this is like, may have a little bit of the energy drink in it, but It's mostly just flavored water. Gross. No, you're not being rude at all. And like, I mean, I'm trying my best to explain. I obviously don't know everything, but, you know, being curious, it's great. And I'm glad that you're curious. I mean, the fact that you're curious and you're not just like, anyway, like I said, I don't know everything, but if you are curious, I would, encourage you to, you know, keep looking into this. And, if you have more questions, I can try to answer. And also, I really do need to get around to making that video where I did do a lot of research just based off of, you know, some things that, like from a geology book about like the history of the world and, comparing it to the Bible. I just haven't, made videos in a long time because, I prefer going live. Also, like, it's kind of, like, YouTube for some reason pushes out my live stream. I've been on YouTube for, like, 5.5 years, though, and, it's really difficult to get views on your videos, if you're a small account. And I do think that I've made some decent videos, but, you know, it's just a matter of, like, getting them out. So I feel like if I sit and make, like, a 30, 40-minute long video, it won't get that many views, which is okay. It's not about the views, but it's, like, if it's important information, it's, like, better to go on live stream because, you know, more people will see it. But I do like making videos too. So the thing about that, there's a thing about God, so all the bad stuff that happens, God did not intend it to be that way. When God created the world, he intended it to be perfect, and, it's all caused by sin. So the thing is, God gives people free will, and he gives people free will to follow him or not follow him. And, you know, some people choose to follow him, but even people who follow him are imperfect and mess up sometimes. But all, you know, those things happen because of sin. And it's not God causing it. It's, because of sin. And that is why God doesn't intend to leave us like this. He has a plan for restoring the earth. He does help people in need. He does. And part of how he helps people in need is, you know, by inspiring people to help other people. But the thing is, God is not a magician. He's not going to magically, you know, answer. He's not a vending machine, you know? He's not, because the thing is, if he magically fixed everything, people would have no need for him. Or he could have made us like robots, but he wants people to love him for his sake and to choose him. And the thing is, God has a plan to come back and create a perfect world where there is no more sin, no more pain, no more death, no more sickness, no more or anything. But he is waiting for the gospel to be preached to the entire world. He wants to give, because he's so loving and fair and merciful, he wants to give everyone a chance to hear about him, because there are still, even today, there's still places that are unreached by the gospel, and he wants to give everyone a chance to come to know him before he comes back. Why is God a he, not a she? Well, God, God is referred to as a he because that's just the way it's written. But I actually did learn in a class about systematic theology. God created humans in his own image. He created male and female. So God is really, he's not really he, he's not really she, he's God. And the pronouns that the people chose to use to refer to him is he. And then when Jesus came, he was in the form of a man, so he was definitely he. But God himself is really like it's just a way for us to wrap our heads around it, but he's outside of the human binary. And he possesses both masculine and feminine traits. And no one knows for sure what God looks like, and it's hard for us to understand, but that's the thing about God. Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit are all one. Yeah. Explain this to a child, they will not understand, let alone an adult. And that's the thing, is that a lot of things, humans do seek to understand things, and they feel like they have to understand everything, but one of my favorite songs is by Christian artist named Stephen Curtis Chapman, and he says, God is God, and I'm not. I can only see a part of the picture he's painting. God is God, and I'm man, and I'll never understand it all, for only God is God. And that's the thing, is we can never understand it all. We can never understand it all. So it's okay to not understand. The Bible doesn't require you to understand everything. It just requires you to have faith. Thank you for listening and answering my questions. You're welcome. I hope you have a good day too. And I hope to see you again here sometime so we can talk more. Okay, I want to continue this conversation, but I'm gonna take a quick break, and give my voice a quick rest, and I will be right back. But if you guys have more questions, feel free to ask, and I'll scroll up in the comments when I get back. Okay, I'll be right back. And hello. Alright. Let me see. Okay. Thank you. I don't always wear cat ears, but I like to wear them sometimes. Springtime vibes, yes, for real. Okay, bye. Have a nice day. People always ask what I'm drinking. I'm just like, it's just water, yo. Flavored water. Ow! Ah, Snowy. His claws. Cats don't realize they have claws and that they hurt. He's like purring right now. He doesn't even realize that he just scratched me. It's okay. You're going now. See you next time. Bye. Bye, Liam. You want some cat ears? I don't know. There was a time like when cat ears were like super like fashionable, and I think I just bought a lot of them back then. So I have a lot. Your cat is distracting my view. It's Mio, that stuff is everywhere. Yeah, it's not actually Mio, it's like knockoff Mio. It's from Aldi's. So it's like Aldi's Mio. Snowy. Ah. I have 2 cats. Snowy is Snowy is a celebrity, yeah. Is Aldi a German company? I don't know. Either. I like Aldi because they have good prices. It's just it's just annoying because you have to bring your own bags, which is fine, but it's like I have so many like Aldi's bags, and then like I never have them when I go to Aldi's. A lot of times, sometimes we'll go to Aldi's after church because there's one on the way home from church. And sometimes we'll have bags in the car and sometimes not. And if you don't have them, you have to buy more. I just found out they have paper bags for like 12 cents. But they also have like reusable bags. I have way too many reusable bags, so. Am I drinking tap water? Yeah. I am. It hasn't. I mean, honestly, I think it's fine. I mean, I probably should filter it, but I don't really want to. And my fridge does not have a water filter. She's the kitty, tap water's fine. My fridge does not have a water filter, and it also doesn't have an ice maker, so I have to make ice. Well, I put water in the freezer. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this is the what I was talking about. Snowy's begging for food again. I don't think he needs food because I fed him already. You drank the tears of your enemies. That's funny. Get a tap filter. I could, but I don't. I'll feed you later, Snow. You've already eaten. I'm so tempted to just reschedule my dentist appointment. I really don't want to go. But it's in 2 hours, so I guess I might as well go. Hi. Ah, Snowy, you're so frustrated. Okay. I love him, but I don't know. Who can relate to this? Like, cats just, they always want to be all over the place. You're in love with me. Oh, that's cool. You have one annoying cat. Annoying, but we still love them. It's just a tank top. Snowy. I mean, Snowy basically has a channel. He has... I just saw YouTube on cats. CUs. I don't know. Hello from Brazil. Hello. Any dogs? No, I don't have any dogs. I just have the 2 cats. My parents have dogs though. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you, Malaya. That's funny. Oh, turtle. Do you like turtles? I love turtles. I used to have a turtle. I used to have several turtles, actually. I want another one. No. Go away. Hi from Ireland. Hello. I want to go to Ireland. You like turtles? Me too. Oh my gosh, this reminds me, it was really random, but I saw a giant fish so my neighborhood has a pond in it, and I saw a giant fish in it the other day. And like, I know it's not that like crazy, but it was this big orange koi fish, and I've never seen a koi fish in this pond before. Like, it was huge, and he was just floating around in there. And the pond is pretty small. I wonder if someone like dumped him in there. You're pretty, and so is your name. Thank you. Yeah, in downtown, the city where I live, downtown, there's a really nice park, and with a pond and like a river. Like, it's a spring, I think, actually, but there's a lot of koi fish in the pond. Hello, Snowy. Snowy is handsome. Have you guys seen the video of the cat like playing the piano? It's funny, Snowy lets me do this. Boom, 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 boom. Mushy would never. Mushy would be like, meow. Me, 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 me. Snowy just looks up at me adoringly. Have you seen the skateboard turtle? No, I would love to see the skateboard turtle. You've had your koi for 230 years. 230 years, really? Catnip? I don't think I've ever given my cats catnip. Except for, use catnip, bubbles. But, I hate to call him my ex-boyfriend, but, because we ended up being friends after that. My, I guess my old boyfriend / friend, Brendan, he had a cat as well, and he bought some catnip bubbles for my cats, and it was pretty fun. I was thinking, it was this is like random, but I had a dream with him in it last night, and I was like, what are you doing? He's married now. Like, he married someone, and he was one of the guys that I was talking about that wanted to marry me. He did want to marry me, and that kind of freaked me out. And I broke up with him because I just he was a very nice guy. He was very sweet, whatever, like, but he was really short, and I mean, he was like 2 inches taller than me, which I'm 5'6", and I'm not super tall. I mean, he wasn't like super short or he was, I don't know, for me, it wasn't even, and he was also really thin, and I was thinking about it, like, he kind of made me insecure about my weight, because, I felt like, you know, like, as a girl, not all girls are like this, but for me, I want to feel like, I don't want to feel big next to my boyfriend. It's not that I was bigger than him, I was just, like, close to his size, and I said one time, "You're, like, skinnier than me," and he said, "You're skinnier than me." And I told him that it kind of, like, triggered me, and he said, it triggered, I was like, I don't know. It's a long story. But, yeah. And then I met this guy who was, like 6'8". Oh my gosh. And that was after that, and ay vey. I really liked him a lot, not just because he was super tall, but that was a long story. You can't really be, oh no, I'm not friends with him anymore. I mean, after I broke up with him, we were not, after I broke up with him, we didn't talk for a while, but then we started being friends again. But no, I'm not friends with him now. I just think it's funny, like, when I think about him being married, because I can't imagine marrying him. But apparently there's someone out there who wanted to marry him. And I mean, like, he's a nice guy and stuff like that. So I'm happy for him, you know. So no, stop it. It was just weird that I had a dream with him in it. So I'm single, yes. Jeez. Some of your comments are just weird. I need to go charge my phone for a little bit. So are you really, like, copying and pasting your own comment, and, like, that's just funny. You really love me. Well, thanks. I love you guys too. Tinder. Copy paste must be a bot. Maybe so. Y'all leave her alone. Leave Brittany alone. Do both of my parents have blue eyes? Well, my dad has blue-green eyes and my mom has green eyes. You never replied on Snapchat. So I get many messages on Snapchat, and I don't well, I get comments on Snapchat, and I don't if I'm not friends with you, it just, like, I don't see the message except, like, in the comments. And just because I have it set up that way, because I get a lot of messages from people I don't know. So Snapchat is really not a good way to contact me, because I get too many messages on there. I try to respond to people sometimes if it's, like, you know, respectful, but I mean, that's the number one thing. Like, if you sent me something that's, like, disrespectful, or, like, something like, hey, I'm not gonna respond. Like, if it's something significant, I might respond, but, like, you have to understand, I get too many messages, and I don't respond to anything that's just disrespectful or not. But if you really are serious, you can email me, and my email is on my Snapchat. So yeah, you got Discord. Okay, so if you want to join the Discord, that's cool. I would just encourage you to post. Do not try and contact me directly, please, until you have, you know, like, there's a whole channel. The purpose of the Discord is to be a community. It's not, for me to send personal messages to people. It's meant to be like a community. So if you join the Discord, please, you know, introduce yourself either in the general messages or in the introduction channel, and you know, so let them find out themselves. Yeah, you're right. Hello from Australia. Hello. How are you? Hello from Alabama. Oh, fun. What part of Alabama? Okay, thanks, Malaya. That's, yeah, put up the link. What part of Alabama are you from? I am actually from Alabama too. Hey from SoCal. Oh, nice. From Namibia. Hello. Dothan. Oh, fun. I've I've been to Dothan before. Not been to Dothan, but like on the way to the beach, driven through Dothan. Have you ever been to Ohio? No, I have not. From England. Hello. Oh my gosh. Panama City. Yeah, Panama City or Gulf Shores. Somewhere around there. But yeah, I miss the beach. Hello. Okay. Oops. No. Right, so I just pinned the message of the Discord, so, hold on. Hang on 1 second, y'all. Just got a text message from the dentist. Reminding me about my appointment. I know. Aw, dang, I should not have closed my phone. Oh well. It's funny. Mm. I'm getting so tired. I don't know why I'm always tired. It's like I wake up and then I'm awake for a little bit and then I get tired. Even with caffeine. Holy. Hello. I don't know, maybe I have an iron deficiency. I don't think so. I bet you look wonderful in a formal dress. Yeah, thank you. I have some dresses and I don't have a lot of formal dresses. I mean, it depends on what you consider formal, but I have a lot of like kind of dress-up-y dresses. I really, I would like to get some new clothes. I need to get rid of... I mean, yeah, I am a vegetarian. I do take, like, multivitamins and stuff like that. So... No, I actually don't eat any sugar. I don't eat any sugar except for, like, from fruit. But yeah, I only eat sugar-free stuff. And then... Ow. Fruit. Sugar. Fries sound good. I was thinking about eating fries the other day. Mary. That's funny. No, he was just correcting, he was correcting someone who said, "Will you marry me?" And they spelled it wrong. How long have I been vegan? Well, I'm not vegan, I'm vegetarian, and it's been, like, 12 years, I think. Wow, Sophia, that's wonderful. I'd like to see how your makeup is. You refuse to eat anything healthy or diet. Well, that is not good for you. Well, there's a big difference between the word marry, M-A-R-R-Y, and marry, M-E-R-R-Y. They sound the same, but they mean different things, so yeah. Do I want to get married? I would like to get married someday, yeah. From where you are. From where you are. That's funny. Yeah, I would like to get married someday. I mean, honestly, like, it's not like something I can just be like, oh, I want to get married, and then, like, it happens. You know, I pray about it, and I'm just waiting on God to bring the right person into my life. Oh, looks like Tang. The only reason I know about Tang is from American Girl. Do I watch WWE? No. Oh yeah, I used to have those. Hello from Australia. Hello. Mm. Okay. Well, I think my voice is really tired. And I think I'm gonna go. I need to do a little bit of straightening up in my house, and then I have to go to the dentist. Yuck. Um, Honestly, I don't feel very good. I almost canceled my dentist appointment because I was kind of sick yesterday, but I feel like it's too late to cancel now. Um, I should. They're probably gonna. I wonder if I could. I don't know. Maybe it would be possible. It's just a cleaning. Like, it's not like I have anything wrong. It's just a cleaning. So yeah. Well, okay. It's 3:30 a.m. Oh wow. Go to sleep. Okay. I hope you guys have a good day. And Malaya, thank you for modding, and thank you guys for joining, and I will see you guys next time.